Hello everyone, I'm Aratrika Bhaumik and I welcome you all to another episode of Courts Today on LiveLaw, where we update you about all the important legal developments that took place across the country today. We will begin with developments from the Supreme Court and then cover High Courts and other subordinate courts. Today, the Supreme Court, also the first working day with the newly inducted Chief Justice of India, Justice U.U. Lalit at the helm, heard a host of important matters such as the hijab ban case, journalist Siddiqui Kappan's bail plea in the Hathras conspiracy case, the hate speech case against Jitendra Taigi at the Haridwar Dharam Sansad, among others. So without further ado, let us dive into the legal developments of today. The Supreme Court today said that it will not interfere with the counselling for NEET-PG 2022, which is scheduled to commence from September 1st. A bench comprising Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and Hema Kohli made this observation when a counsel mentioned a matter pertaining to the NEET-PG seeking some clarification. Justice Chandrachud refused to interfere with the counselling process after orally remarking that the court cannot put the students in jeopardy. The matter which was mentioned was a writ petition challenging the decision of the National Board of Examinations in Medical Sciences to not release the answer key and the question paper for NEET-PG 2022. The petitioners had alleged several discrepancies in the scores of the candidates who had appeared for the examination. The Supreme Court today issued notice to the state of Karnataka in a batch of appeals challenging the Karnataka High Court verdict that effectively upheld the ban on wearing hijab in government schools and colleges and listed the matter for hearing on September 5th. During the hearing today, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta informed the bench of Justices Hemant Gupta and Sudhashnu Dhulia that the petitioners have prayed for an adjournment of the hearing, to which the bench expressed displeasure. The bench underscored that it will not permit forum shopping and accordingly declined the prayer for adjournment. For more information on the hearing, please do watch our earlier video, the link to which has been given in the description box below. The Supreme Court today issued notice to the Uttar Pradesh government in the petition filed by Kerala journalist Siddiqui Kappan challenging the rejection of his bail application in the Hathras conspiracy case by the Allahabad High Court. The bench comprising Chief Justice of India U.U. Lalit and Justice S. Ravinder Bhatt issued notice to the state government asking it to file its reply by September 5th. Pertinently, the Supreme Court made it clear that it will decide the matter and dispose it of on September 9th. Kappan, who has now spent almost 2 years behind the bars, was arrested along with 3 others by the UP police back in October 2020 while they were proceeding to report the Hathras rape and murder crime. For more information on this hearing, you can refer to our earlier video, the link to which has been given in the description box below. The Supreme Court today refused to entertain a PIL seeking inquiry into the Rafale deal in light of certain reports in a French news portal alleging payment of bribe by Dassault Aviation to an Indian middleman. A bench comprising Chief Justice of India U.U. Lalit and Justice S. Ravinder Bhatt was considering a plea by Advocate M.L. Sharma, which had made Narendra Modi as the first respondent in the petition. The bench had initially dismissed the petition today, saying that no case for interference by the Supreme Court has been made out. However, after the order was dictated, Sharma made a further request seeking permission to withdraw the petition. Accepting the subsequent request, the bench altered the order and dismissed the petition as withdrawn. The Chief Justice of India, U.U. Lalit, today clarified that the Supreme Court was devising a new mechanism for listing of matters. After Solicitor General Tushar Mehta inquired if the advocates could mention the matters before the bench, the Chief Justice of India said that a mechanism for listing would be prepared by Thursday. The issue of listing of matters was earlier flagged by senior advocate Dushyant Dave when he raised an issue about the working of the Supreme Court registry before the then Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana. N.V. Ramana, in his farewell speech in the ceremonial bench, had apologized for not paying requisite attention to the issues related to the listing of cases. The Supreme Court has refused to interfere with the interim order passed by the Jharkhand High Court granting interim bail to News 11 Bharat journalist Arup Chatterjee. What had really resonated with the High Court while granting bail was the possibility that he was arrested without following the procedure under Section 41A of the CRPC and the procedure pertaining to the production of accused before the magistrate under Sections 80 and 81 of the CRPC. While considering the petition filed by the state of Jharkhand against the High Court order, the bench was perturbed to prima facie note that the blatant transgression by the officers of the State Enforcement Authority and the disregard for law in making the arrest of the media journalist. Today, the Supreme Court refused to entertain a petition challenging certain provisions of the Special Marriage Act 1954, which mandate parties to marriages to publish their private details open for public scrutiny before 30 days of the intended marriage. A bench comprising Justices Dinesh Maheshwari and Bela M. Trivedi during the proceedings inquired from the counsel for the petitioner, and I quote here, "Supposing we take up this challenge to these provisions in abstract at your instance and pronounce against you, would that bind everybody, including a person who may have a genuine grievance to raise?" Owing to this, the bench went ahead and dismissed the petition. The Karnataka State Waqf Board has approached the Supreme Court challenging the recent order passed by the High Court permitting of Ganesh Chaturthi rituals to be held in the Idgah Maidan at Bangalore. The matter was mentioned as an urgent one by senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who highlighted that the Supreme Court back in 1964 had stated that the Municipal Corporation of Bangalore has no right over the same. The bench led by the CGI accordingly listed the matter for hearing tomorrow before the appropriate bench. The Supreme Court was to hear the plea of Bhima Koregaon accused Gautam Navlakha, who sought to be transferred out of the Taloja Central Prison and be placed under house arrest owing to the alleged denial of basic medical necessities. However, Justice S. Ravinder Bhatt, who was on the bench today with Chief Justice U.U. Lalit, recused himself from hearing the matter. CJI Lalit, after noting that Justice Bhatt could not hear the matter, said that he would place the matter before Justice K.M. Joseph instead. In a plea filed by a Muslim woman challenging the constitutionality of divorce through Talaq-e-Hasan on the ground that it is discriminatory against women, the Supreme Court today impleaded and issued notice to the husband to explore possibilities of reaching a settlement. A bench comprising Justices Sanjay Kishan Kaul and A.S. Oka noted that it would keep the larger issue open, but at this stage implead the husband and issue notice to him alone in the limited aspect concerning settlement between the parties. Today, the Supreme Court refused to extend the interim bail granted on medical grounds to Jitendra Taigi alias Wasim Rizvi in the case for allegedly making anti-Muslim hate speeches at the Haridwar Dharam Sansad. A bench comprising Justices Ajay Rastogi and Justice B.V. Nagaratna asked Taigi to surrender by September 2nd and posted the regular application for hearing on September 9th. The Supreme Court of India today dismissed a petition challenging Section 8 of the Rajasthan Compulsory Registration of Marriages Amendment Act of 2021. The petitioner had challenged the law as it permits the registration of child marriages. The Rajasthan State Assembly in 2021 had amended a 2009 Act, which is the Rajasthan Compulsory Registration of Marriages Act, which provides for mandatory registration of marriages including child marriages. While dismissing the plea, Justices Indira Banerjee and M.M. Sundaresh remarked that the bill is not an act and yet to receive the Governor's assent. The National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, that is the NCPCR, has filed a petition before the Supreme Court challenging a recent judgment of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, which held that a 16-year-old girl, a Muslim girl that is, can enter into a valid marriage. Recently, the High Court had granted protection to a Muslim couple while noting that the girl who has attained puberty is of marriageable age under the Muslim personal law. Relying on precedents, the High Court had observed the marriage of the Muslim girl is governed by the Muslim personal law. The Delhi High Court today issued notice on a plea by city's Transport Minister Kailash Gehlot challenging the requirement for state government ministers to seek political clearances from the centre for personal visits abroad. Justice Yashwant Verma sought response of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Union of India through the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Finance. Following the governor's refusal to grant clearance for Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's Singapore visit to attend the World City Summit, Gehlot had approached the High Court seeking broader guidelines for permissions required by elected constitutional functionaries to travel abroad. A Delhi court today denied bail to former National Stock Exchange CEO Chitra Ramakrishna in a money laundering case registered by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with an alleged illegal phone tapping case related to NSE employees. Special CBI Judge Sunaina Sharma dismissed the bail plea today. As per the ED, senior officials of the National Stock Exchange had issued agreement or work orders under the guise of periodic study of cyber vulnerabilities in favor of Isaac Private Limited Services and had illegally intercepted the phone call of its employees. The Delhi High Court has set aside a 2015 arbitral award directing Antrix Corporation Limited, the commercial and marketing arm of ISRO, to pay $562.2 million to Devas Multimedia Private Limited over wrongful repudiation of contract. Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva held that the arbitral award back in 2015 suffered from patent illegalities and fraud and was also in conflict with the public policy of India. Thank you. Keep watching Courts Today on LiveLaw for more such updates. If you like our content, please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you tomorrow.